Hi guys, recently put up a question box on my Instagram stories asking you guys what were the assumptions you had around financial advisors. We got a lot of responses back, so we thought we'd do a video rather than me getting back to people on my stories. I suppose we're going to go through them all now, but what I will say is most of them are probably correct about certain financial planners or financial advisors in the marketplace. I do think here at Ask Paul we do things completely different. So let's have a look at the questions. I'm going to answer them and tell you why I think we're different. Let's go. Okay, so they're no use to you unless you're earning a decent income or if you're on the minimum wage. I don't agree with this statement here at Ask Paul in particular because we deal with loads of different people from various different backgrounds and various different incomes. The whole idea we started at Ask Paul was to make finance a little bit easier for people to understand and get them out of their comfort zone about talking about money. So in that instance, I'd have to disagree from an Ask Paul point of view, but maybe from a industry point of view, that might be the case. But I will say, regardless of your income, I think everybody needs a financial plan because some people might want to be in a situation where they're on minimum wage, they want to increase their income, they might want to know what the tax implications are that, they might want to save some money, they might be in personal debt that they want to get out of personal debt for as well. So you find a lot of information free on the Ask Paul Academy, where if you don't want to book in for a consultation, the Academy has tons of content there for you to pick and choose what you think is relevant to your own life. So again, like the debt situation, or again, if you are a minimum wage and you're looking to maybe earn a second income or a side hustle, there's loads of content there that should help you. So we're always trying to sell you something or hard to get independent advice. What I got to say about this is that everybody is trying to sell something in life, no matter what you're looking for. So when it comes to financial planning advice, there's two types of advice you can reach out there. I'm what's called a certified financial planner, and we run a financial planning practice here at Ask Paul. That means we will always sit down with our clients on a fee-based situation and have a financial plan arranged. For an example, let's say we have someone that's 35 years of age and they're looking for a financial plan to look at maybe a mortgage, maybe look at retirement planning and an investment account. The obvious three things that they are going to receive from us in the recommendation is A, a mortgage, B, a pension, and C, maybe the investment account. So it's not a sale, it's a recommendation that somebody was looking for. But again, it's like going into the car showroom and looking for a new car and you getting a new car off somebody. You could say you were sold the car or you could say you were looking for the car. Now, where this is actually true in our industry, and I will say this, is that in our industry, you will find a lot of people that try to ring you or contact you to sell product. So they're just ringing to sell you a product all the time. In that case, you will find a bit of that old-fashioned salesmanship in the industry, but generally speaking, we don't do that here at Ask Paul. Oh, miserable bastards, definitely not me. Whatever about the rest of them, yeah, they probably are. Okay, I think we just go straight to the educated gamblers on that one. Not really sure what you mean by that. I presume that people mean that from an education point of view, from like I did the Certified Financial Planner exams, the CFP exams after doing the QFAs when I started off in my career, my early career. So I suppose from an education point of view, yeah, I would say we're highly educated in relation to all things to do with personal finance, and especially in stocks and shares. So I presume the gambling piece of that question comes in through stocks and shares. Luckily enough, again, here at Ask Paul, I put my money where my mouth is. So we look at the investment club or the Ask Paul investment club. I invest €750 per month with the followers that I think there's over 1,000 people in the club now. Well, over 1,200 people in the club now. And yeah, I invest with them. So I don't think it's gambling. I think when it comes to investing, I think markets are predictable. I think they go up and they go down in value all the time. And it's about trying to stay in for a very long time with a small proportion of your money, never putting all your eggs in one basket, it's diversification, etc., etc., etc. I could go on, but I don't consider it gambling. Okay, this is a really good one because I would have to agree that a lot of people in the industry will just know the product, and especially because a lot of people that would sell product in some instances, as I said in one of the earlier questions, are linked to maybe commissions or are trying to sell the products all the time. Again, I've put my money where my mouth is here at Ask Paul, and we definitely try to do things a little bit different. From the one from investing, where I invest, but also from a financial planning point of view. I would think we have a really good understanding of all the various instruments behind the products that we do advise on or we do recommend to our clients. Again, we have an investment kit committee. We go through it on a monthly and a quarterly basis. We make changes to the products that we recommend, and we will always put our customers first in relation to what they want out of their money when it's working harder for them. So yeah, maybe it is in the industry, but definitely not here at Ask Paul. This is a great one, standard set of advice for everybody. When you look at the Ask Paul stuff that we do and the financial planning consultations, yeah, you're probably right in this one. Everybody kind of does need the same plan. So let's look at income protection for argument's sake. Now again, somebody else earlier on would have said I was selling product by saying this. In my opinion, I think absolutely everybody needs income protection. It's the biggest asset that you have. It turns over your life. Everybody needs an income to put a roof over their head, to feed themselves, their kids, to save, to go to the gym, to pay the car. Everything comes from your income. So to me, if there's a financial product out there that protects that if it stops from sickness or illness, you're going to need it. So yeah, pretty standard for everybody, unless you have it in work. When it looks at saving and investment, should everybody save and invest? Yes, 100%. When it looks at an emergency fund, everyone should have one of them. A personal budget, everybody should have one of them. A pension, everybody should have one of them. But what's different about the advice you get here is when you need those things. Let's just go back to the beginning there. Absolutely everybody needs to be, in my opinion, not have much short-term debt. Everybody needs to have a personal budget and everybody needs to have an emergency fund. And then they also need the mortgage, they need the savings, they need the pension, they need tax advice, etc., etc. But they need them at different stages in their life, depending on their own personal circumstances. So although the recommendations, the products, or the set recommendations are there, they will vary from people to people. Better to cut out the middleman. This is a really interesting fact that I can understand why people think this. However, let's look at the mortgage market for argument's sake. There are a number of the main pillars bank in Ireland that most people out there would complain about over the years, and there's market makers out there or product makers out there for mortgages that don't deal with the public and they only deal with a broker. So therefore, you have to use us in order to get to that financial institution. So, and again, if you look at the likes of products from certain life companies that would have a direct business channel, the direct business channel, I can say this from previously working in Irish Life, is just a broker. And they're actually more expensive, believe it or not, because if you look at the likes of Irish Life, the majority of their business in this example, they will come from the broker market or from the banks, the likes of Perma TSB, KBC, EBS. Actually, every bank out there, except for Bank of Ireland, will feed into Irish Life. So the broker market is so big that they will either prefer discounts on or try to be more competitive in the broker market, because as a broker, financial planner, financial advisor, wherever you're using, they can go to a number of different product providers. So therefore, the product providers will fight for that business. Where if they have a consumer just directly ringing them, they don't have any fight. And therefore, it generally tends to be a little bit more expensive, actually. So definitely don't agree with going direct in this instance. Cost a fortune? I don't think so at all. I think from our own financial planning consultations, they start at €250. I think the value that you get out of that, and the peace of mind you get in your finances, being able to forecast through, and speaking to a certified financial planner, one of the team here in Ask Paul, I think adds buckets of value for the cost. Just to say, if you go and Google other financial advisors, you see some people are charging $2,500 or $5,000 for this service, which is absolutely ludicrous. After that, then we do have a hybrid situation where we get paid a commission from the life company where we place business. We would never place business with a life company just because of the commission structure. We place it because of our clients. But in relation to going into these products, we can actually take commission off you, the consumer, and the life companies. In the majority of cases, we just take it off the life assurance company because we don't believe in getting paid twice. So the example I'm going to use here is if you're going into a pension or an investment product, we could maybe take up to 5% commission off you on the way in. So 95% of your money be invested, and then we'd also take commission off life company. We don't do that. We give you 100% of your money when you're going into the plan, and we'll take the commission off the life company, you know. So again, I don't think that response is probably fair, but that's just how we run things at Ask Paul. You may have experienced something different elsewhere. I love this response, and look, I'm not going to sound like a preacher here. This is exactly why we started Ask Paul. The amount of DMs that I get or emails from people saying, "Hi Paul, silly question." The first thing I always say back to them is there's no such thing as a silly question. The whole reason we started Ask Paul. And in fact, before we started opening up to doing financial planning consultations or taking clients on here at Ask Paul, I used to just respond to people through Facebook and Instagram. So for years, I was getting up early, I was going to bed late, and I was just responding to people's questions about finance because the brand was built with genuinely trying to make finance as easy for people as possible. So whatever you think about going anywhere else, you're never going to be judged for asking any type of question to do with your money here at Ask Paul. So guys, hope you thought that video was a bit of fun. As you can see, people's perception of what goes on in the actual financial services, financial planning world is probably completely different to actually what we managed to pull off here for our clients at Ask Paul. So if you're interested in working with us, please don't hesitate to book in for a consultation. Or if you want to ask us a question, head to the DMs or send us a question to questions@askpaul.ie. Cheers and have a good day.